This is going to be the best Geometry Dash main level tier list you've ever seen. Or the worst if you think this is an L take. Y'all let me know. The criteria I'm going to be using today is the gameplay, the song, and how the game teaches its mechanics. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight to it. Alright, starting off with Stereo Madness, the level. Whenever I first heard this song, it gave me that, oh, this is definitely the first level type of vibe, you know what I mean? So I can kind of say it's kind of middle of the road for me in terms of the song. As for the gameplay, it's a good way of introducing the cube and the ship to you. It's a solid first level. There's nothing that really stands out too much for me personally, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in C tier. Maybe D tier. I think I'm gonna remove F tier here, honestly, truly. I'll just change this to F, just like that. I didn't need an E tier. Next up, we have Back on Track. Now, Back on Track for the song, it has one of the best songs in the main level series, definitely, without a doubt. One of the best songs for sure. So, songs already is making it like an A for me, right? And then in terms of gameplay, it introduces the jump pads, right? Which is, I mean, cool, but they don't really use it for too much, so it's really not, it's teaching you about them, but they're not really doing too much with it, if that makes sense. But the song kind of carries. And as for the gameplay is fun. Definitely an improvement over Stereo Madness overall, so I'm gonna put this one in A tier. Alright, moving on, we have Poltergeist. This is the third level, obviously, and the song, me personally, I'm not a fan of the song. I definitely think that it's on the lower side of the tier list in terms of the song. As for the gameplay, they introduce jump orbs here, so Geometry Dash has a great way of teaching its mechanics, so, you know, it obviously makes sense that this is above average. But as for the song, I'm personally not a fan of the gameplay or the song, so I'm putting it in C tier. Next up, we have Dry Out. So now we're on to the normal levels. You know, the last one was a normal difficulty level. This one, the same, apparently. So in terms of the song, Dry Out has a pretty good song. I do like the song quite a bit. And the gameplay is actually really fun as well. In terms of what mechanics it teaches, I think this one teaches upside down, does it not? It teaches the reverse gravity. I think this is that. And yeah, this is. So that was sick. Whenever that first happened, it really blew my mind. Whenever I first played it, I was like, oh shit, this is lit. So like, definitely them teaching you that mechanic is way above average on this level, right? And so with the song being pretty decent and the gameplay and the way it teaches its mechanics being really good, this one's definitely getting a smooth A tier. Alright, next up we have Bass After Bass, and I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't really know what the community consensus is on Bass After Bass, but I fucking hate this level. I think the song is really annoying. The coins are dog water easy to get, so they're not even interesting. And just the level design is just, it seems like, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of it personally. Really the song, I hate the song. It was easy. I remember whenever I was going through the Main Roptop Levels, I beat this one in literally like 2 or 3 attempts. If not one, you know what I mean? So just overall, not a fan of this level. I mean, I'm sorry if this just so happens to be your favorite level. If it is, be sure to let your boy know down in the comments. But as for me, I'm putting this in D tier. I'm sorry, I can't. Now, next up on the list, we have one of my personal favorites, Can't Let Go. Can't Let Go, in my opinion, was whenever I first really started to struggle. Because if you've seen the video of how I beat Windy Landscape, you're familiar with my story, right? You know that it took me like 2 weeks to beat Stereo Madness. Well, after that, I pretty much blew through all the other levels in like a day. But then I got stuck on Can't Let Go, as I also mentioned. If you're interested in that video, I'll pin it in the top right corner right now. But the song for Can't Let Go, top tier, one of the best of the main levels in my opinion. The gameplay is really, really difficult compared to Bass After Bass and anything before. So it was a real difficulty spike for me. You had to actually time your jumps in the upside down cube. And I had trouble getting the second coin in the ship section. And I like the Dragon Ball Z, like whenever the beat kind of drops and like the background goes black, I'll probably put a clip of it on screen. The music is like, it's very reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z. And if you didn't know, I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. So at the time as a kid, I was like, oh, this part's sick. It's going fucking crazy. So it just built really, really good memories. The actual gameplay of the level is cool. The coins are really fun to get, and it was really hard. The ending was very nerve-wracking. I remember having a great time with this level, and yeah, for all of those reasons, this is going in S tier. Our first S tier of the tier list. Alright, next up we have Jumper. As for the song of Jumper, It has a good song. I do like the song quite a bit. And as for the gameplay, I think it's very jumpy. You know, so I think it's good. I think it fits the name. And overall, I think the coins are kind of annoying, personally. And they teach upside down ship in this level. So that was cool, even though the parts were pretty simple. So it didn't teach it in a very memorable way for me. Just overall, pretty meh level, in my opinion. Like, meh is in good, because if I'm not being clear, all of these levels are goated, in my opinion. They're the foundation of the game that I love, so obviously they're all very important. I'm just ranking them. Somebody's got to do the tough jobs around here, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. Alright, so next up we have Time Machine. Now, Time Machine introduced mirror portals, and as we all know, mirror portals are cancer. Mirror portals, I can't say mirror portals. Mirror portals, I'm chalked. Mirror portals are ass. I hate them. They're the worst abomination of the entire game, in my opinion. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and give Time Machine, honestly, D tier. I already know this is probably controversial, to say the least, but I don't like this level, man. It was hard, like it was a good difficulty spike from Jumper, but still, I hate the level, to be honest. Honestly, I'm thinking of F tier, but you know, nah, definitely not. Next up, we have Cycles. Cycles introduces the ball game mode, but the ball is very easy. By this point, the levels back in the day, these levels were considered insane difficulty, and for an insane, it was just way too easy. So it was kind of like base after base, as in it was just kind of unrememberable. I beat it really, really quickly because it's easier than Time Machine. But the song is pretty good. I do like the song, but it's just overall pretty meh level, so it's going back in the middle. I think I'm going to change Time Machine and put it up to C, because I think that was pretty harsh. Base after base is just not it for me. Alright, now next up is X-Step. Now, X-Step is pretty much just... X-Step doesn't really introduce anything new, it just combines a bunch of what we already learned and like tries to confuse you with a lot of fake outs and stuff like that. I personally found this level very fun and challenging at the time whenever I was trash at the game. So for that reason and the song, I do like the song quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. Personally, it really makes you boss up in order to get the completion. I don't know if everyone had a problem with it, but me, I personally found it to be quite the difficulty jump, and it really made me improve at the game. Okay, I'm sure this is the one everyone who stuck around for this long is waiting for. Next up, we have Clutterfunk, okay? Where do we even start with this? Since this introduces the mini portal, and I mean, where do I even begin? This level is probably the best, one of the best levels on this tier list, 100%. One of the best main Geometry Dash levels in the game, for sure. So we're gonna, obviously, this goes to the top of S tier. I mean, the song is absolutely fire. The gameplay very challenging and just fun. The whole level, the experience of playing this from zero whenever you're brand new to the game, or, you know, relatively new, and you just go through, like, just think back of your first time you completed Clutterfunk. It was most likely positive. Like, come on now, let's be for real. It was most likely positive, right? Clutterfunk's a top tier level. The last 20% really had my nerves racking whenever you're the mini cube and you're doing all these inputs, and it just feels smooth. It really made me feel like I've come a long way after I completed this one. So for all those reasons, banger, easy S tier. All right, next up we have Theory of Everything. All right. Now, for me personally, Theory of Everything, I struggled with this for a long time, right? On a little side tangent, whenever I used to play, I couldn't beat Clutterfunk. I couldn't beat anything past, like, Time Machine. So X-Step and shit like that, I couldn't beat that shit or anything like that, right? For a long time. But then one random day, I just woke up and I just fluked Theory of Everything, and like something awakened in me, and I was just able to beat Electro Man Adventures, X-Step, Clutterfunk, everything besides the demons. I guess, you know, I don't know why, but I just started popping off. So Theory of Everything kind of has a special place in my heart, because I kind of like fluked it and I was like, holy shit, I'm actually kind of good. You know, at least at the time I felt kind of good. And the song, I do like the Theory of Everything song. It's really good. But the gameplay, this introduces a UFO, right? So the gameplay is good. I do like the gameplay, but just the song, it's definitely not as good as like Back on Track or Can't Let Go. So it's definitely not an S tier, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it in A tier. I'm comfortable with that. Alright, next up we have Electro Man Adventures. Now for me, this immediately goes to S tier, right? The song is one of the best songs in my opinion, definitely. It syncs with the song, or syncs with the level pretty well actually, so I'll take that. And just the fun Electro Man Adventures, like I don't know really how to say it. Maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but just the level was a very fun and enjoyable level. Like out of all the main Roptop levels, I'll probably come back and play this one the most. Okay, next up we have Clubstep, the first Roptop demon. Now for Clubstep, the song of Clubstep is really fire. I love the song of Clubstep. I think the gameplay is very challenging. Whenever I first attempted this, I thought it was deadass impossible. As a little wee lad, little 12-year-old, however old I was whenever I first attempted this. So, I didn't like it because I couldn't get far at first. But then over the years, as I slowly got better at the game and I was able to get further and further, I actually started to really enjoy the gameplay. The gameplay is very unbalanced. Whenever you complete the sections that are hard, like towards 70, 80, 90%, or just 70, 80% really, the upside down mini ship is insane. Either way, what I'm trying to say is completing the level really gives you a sense of achievement, right? And that's kind of the shining point for me with this level. So for that, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it an A tier. Now this one might be controversial. Let me know what you guys think about Clubstep, the first Roptop demon, down below. But me, I think I'm comfortable with putting that right there. Next we have Electrodynamics. Now Electrodynamics, I'm not a fan of the song. They introduced speed changes in this one, I'm pretty sure. So the speed changes are big, really spiced up the gameplay, right? I do like the gameplay, but I'm not really a fan of the song. I like how they introduced the speed changes, and there's some pretty tricky parts with the ship with the 3x speed. Really makes it intense. So yeah, I think overall I'm gonna give this one a probably a B tier, honestly. I'm gonna definitely go back around and rework these because this definitely isn't it. This definitely ain't it right now. Hexagon Force introduces slopes and the duel. So this is I really enjoyed this level. I love the song, definitely one of the best songs in the game. I know I've been saying that a bunch, but it's true. Gameplay's really fun, very consistent, very fair. I think I beat it relatively quickly, so I don't have that much to go off this one, but from what my memory serves, easy A tier. Alright, next we have Blast Processing. Now, this one is kind of an anomaly because this was the first time Roptop released a level that just wasn't as hard as the previous ones. Like, this one's significantly easier than, the insane demons that the recent levels have been. I really love the song and the gameplay to this level. This one's kind of an anomaly on the list too because the nostalgia's just hitting too much. For me, this is an S tier. I'm sorry. The gameplay's super fun. The song is a banger. I mean, let's be for real. They introduced the wave, which is my favorite game mode. So all those reasons really add up to that being an S tier. Alright, next we have Theory of Everything 2, the next demon. Now, Theory of Everything's 2 song is really, really good. The song is really, really good. The level itself the gameplay is so fun. The only part I don't like about the gameplay is 80%, where you have to put those inputs in as the upside down ship, and it's just really tight for no reason, really. Besides that, the level was really, really good. Completing it was such a joy, right? You know what I mean? I don't know, I just love this level personally, and this whole thing's kind of biased now that I'm looking into it, but from personal experience, I just love this level. It's definitely my favorite Roptop demon, so that's why it's an S tier. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, next up, we have Geometrical Dominator, okay? I hate the song, I hate the gameplay, and that's all I have to say about it. This is going to be the only F tier of today's video. If you want further explanations, talk to your boy down in the comment section, man. Next up on the list, we have Deadlocked, right? The last Roptop demon, the newest Roptop demon. The song of Deadlocked, in my opinion, is super fire. Absolutely love it. The gameplay is I think the best gameplay out of any Roptop level, arguably. I think the gameplay is on the better side. It's just I like the moving. This introduces it's 2.1 moving objects, or 2.0 moving objects, This one visually looks the best in my opinion, obviously because it's on a newer version. I think this gets an easy A tier, mainly just because the difficulty, like, I just have a bias towards demon levels. Like, they're just gonna rank well for me because that's what I'm challenged to do in the game right now. That's what I do. I beat demons. All right, and now, last but not least, we have Finger Dash, the current newest level that Roptop's produced, as far as I know. This one visually looks really good as well. I absolutely adore this level. This one's definitely going in A tier as well. Just the gameplay, the balancing of the gameplay is really smooth. I like the coins. I think the coins are pretty cool, especially the last one where you have to grab like the individual coins in order to actually unlock the final one. It was lit. And I just have I have good nostalgia because I made a video on this a long time ago and I had a blast doing it. So yeah, sick. I remember whenever this update dropped, I was hype as fuck, you know, so just nostalgia again playing. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to like reorganize everything to get my final thoughts down, and then we're gonna go over it. All right, guys, so this is the completed tier list. Now, I guess I just did a little mental compiling, and I've come to the conclusion that Electrodynamics is my favorite Roptop level. So if any of y'all are curious, there it is. That's the best level in the main levels to me. Y'all let me know what is your favorite Roptop level down in the comment section below. But yeah, so I've got Electrodynamics at the top of S tier, and y'all can see, y'all have eyes, y'all can see for yourselves. This is what we're looking at here, okay? We've got Geometrical Dominator in F tier because it's ass. Base After Base is just pretty lackluster in my opinion, so it's D. And everything else is above average or more. But yeah, guys, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this tier list. It's probably an L take, but y'all go ahead and let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'm always open to some constructive criticism on my opinion, but you know, it is my opinion at the end of the day, so try not to go too hard on me. But yeah, it's been your boy KDZ. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.